So today we are going to discuss some of the trends of network security. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So some of the trends is one of the trends is political cause. So due to some political cause, your network may be affected. Okay. For that you have to take some mechanism so to protect those from those cause. Okay. Next, big data problem. Big data is nothing but, do you know about big data? Big data is less large unstructured data. So you are learning RDBMS and DBMS. Those are structured data, not unstructured. That means you are using some table or column row like that. But in big data, there is a huge number of data is coming. For example, WhatsApp. WhatsApp. If you consider WhatsApp is a platform where you'll get lots of data in a day. It may be video, text, audio, whatever. Okay, to store those data, we need some other types of database. You cannot use RDBMS to store that type of data. So, if since this is a huge number of data is coming from all around the world, so you need to take care about some network issue. Okay, so that is one of the trend. Then mobile application and internet of things. Obviously all of us we are using mobile phone, so daily we are getting lots of data from internet, so we have to take care about mobile applications. We have to keep some security mechanism on mobile application. Then cloud service is nothing but you are storing data in the cloud cloud storage. Cloud storage, that means your data will be not with you. Somebody will handle your data, and you are using those data whenever it necessary. So obviously you need to put some mechanism, security mechanism on cloud service. Then some skill based training. Then cyber threats, already you know about this. And then ransomware, there are some ransomware. For example, daily you are getting some fake email link in your Gmail account. So those are some of the threats. Okay, then phishing attack, that is also you are somebody are trying to take your data. Okay, these are the some of the network trends or network security trends nowadays. Is it clear? I'll give those notes in Google's Classroom, don't worry. So next topic is very very important. We're going to discuss firewall, and most of you I think know. Any idea what is firewall? Can you tell me anyone? Firewall. I'm asking some question. What is firewall? Any idea? You come across earlier? I think you know about this. Okay, Barbie, any idea about firewall?
Um, Firewall is a network security system that monitors and controls incoming and outgoing network traffics.
Okay.
Means it is a barrier between mm, trusted network and untrusted networks.
Okay, good. Himanshu, any want to add something? What is firewall? Anybody want to add something? Already Barbie told about a barrier between trusted and untrusted network. I can say it's a barrier between insider networks and the outsider. Already we did the practical, right, on that day. So implementing some firewall, we can block somebody or we can allow somebody. We can block a suspicious packet coming from outside, or we can block that host itself. If we think that this host is dangerous for us, we can block that host, or we can block some packet. Packet block we already did the practical in some few earlier classes. Okay, so it is written here to ensure the confidentiality and integrity of valuable information of a corporate networks. From the outside attacks, we must have some robust mechanism. There is where firewalls come into picture. Okay, we are ensuring the confidentiality and integrity. Confidentiality already you know, integrity also know. So these two properties is very important in network security. Somehow we have to fulfill this criteria about the confidentiality and the integrity. No one can alter or only authorized person can access the networks. So if some unauthorized person or or suspicious host is trying to access your networks through firewall, you can stop to access those attackers. Okay, so this is the diagram. From this it is clear. Is the public networks, that means the internet. So whatever packets coming from the internet, we have to pass through the gateway of our networks. Okay, gateway already you know that in the practical we discussed. Gateway is nothing but the main router of your networks. Okay, on that router we can implement firewall. So it is a firewall in between the internet and the local area network. This is your LAN. For example, this is your lab or this is your university networks. So in between these university networks and internet, there is one mechanism we are implementing, that is your firewall. So if some unexpected packet or some untrusted packet coming from internet, so this firewall will block it and it will be stored in the dustbin. It's within a dustbin. Okay, that means you are blocking those and you are restricting those packet to coming to the local area networks. Okay, okay, there's some types of firewalls. So first type is your, and before that I can say firewall is maybe a hardware or maybe a software. Okay, you can implement or you can design a hardware firewall or as well as you can implement some application to block your outgoing packets. So that they will implement the software firewalls, will not use the hardware firewall on that day. So someday we'll try to show you the hardware firewall also. Okay, so one of the firewall types use packet filters. Do you know about this packet filters? This topic is learned already, yes, last semester. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. So these packet filters firewalls is work in the network layer. Everybody is, I think, know about the OSI model. Anyone want to say the layers of OSI model in a sequence? Can you tell me what are the layers of OSI model? I'm waiting for your response. I want to know the layers of OSI model in a sequence.
Is it into uh, net
Repeat again,
uh,
some network problem
uh,
in your side. You are not audible properly,
physical
right?
layer,
Okay. Physical layer, then
this is uh, network layer,
physical, then
network layer,
physical.
transport
No, no, no. After physical,
layer.
what?
Huh?
After physical, what layer? फिजिकल के बाद कौन सा लेयर आता है?
Link,
The data link layer,
ओके, देन
the network layer,
network layer,
transport layer,
transport layer,
ओके,
session layer, presentation layer, application layer.
okay. So this packet filter firewalls is work in the third layer of the OSI model, that is your network layer. So it applies a set of rules on each packet. So obviously you know, since you learn OSI model, in networks layers your data is known to be as packet. Okay, so on each packet and based on the outcome, decide to forward and discard the packet. Okay, so this packet filter firewall will check each and every packet inside the header. Header, you know, I think each and every packet have their own rules. Okay, each and every layer is adding a rules on the above of your original data. So that is your header file. So this packet filter file will check the header file and he will decide this packet is or this packet do not have any unsuspicious things or any harmful things, so I can forward it. Or if he think that there is something which can harm your networks, so he will discard the packet. Okay, so for example, a rule cloud specified to block all incoming traffics from a certain IP address and disallow all traffics that uses UTP protocol, that they I already shown you. So if the protocol is IP, I allowed that there. Okay, I set the protocol IP then I set the action deny or allow. Okay, so here it is written if there is no match with any predefined rules. That means when you set up a firewalls, you have to write some rule when you design that firewall. So if a package coming to the firewalls, he will check whether there are some rules for that packet. If it match with that rules, predefined rules we already said. So based on that, you'll if it is allowed in the action, you'll allow. Otherwise, you'll drop. So default action can be discard all packet or accept all packet. If you're not setting any rules, specific rule, so you will there is two rule. It may be discard all packet or it may be accept all packet. Is it clear? If you are not define any rule, by default there is two rule. One is discard all packets or accept all packets. So what are the traits of packet filters? That means what are the challenges of packet filter firewalls? So one of the challenges is IP address snooping. What is this IP address snooping? This is one of the attack where an intruder from outsider tries to send packet towards the internal corporate networks with the source IP address, remember, source matlab sender, set equal to one of the IP address of the internal user. That means source IP address and in who will send, that means he will do what? He will set his IP address in a internal user. For example, if internal one of the internal user have IP address 192.168.10.1 suppose, okay, and who is sending, that means the attacker is outside of the networks obviously. So he will do what? He will set the source IP address, one of the IP address of the internal network that is 192.168.10.1. So then the firewall will think that this is the internal our own address, so he will allow that packet to that internal user. Okay, that type of attack is known as IP address snooping. Is it clear? Is it clear? I'm waiting for the response. Raju, is it clear? Yes, okay. Next is source routing attack. So in this kind of attack, the attacker specifies the route to be taken by the packet with a hope to fool the firewalls. What is this? What is the meaning of this? Specify the route. The attacker will specify the route. That means the attacker will decide the path. Okay, and he will try to make fool the firewalls. Okay, source routing attack is nothing but the attacker specify the route. Okay, that means the attacker will decide the route. That means the path, and he will try to fool the firewalls. Okay, next some others attack also there. Tiny fragmented attack, will not discuss in details all. So tiny fragment attack is one of the attack of packet filters firewall. The next type of firewall is your application gateway. So this is also known as proxy firewall. ओके, तुम लोग हो कि नहीं पता ही नहीं है. Nothing response. Okay, yes. So it is also known as proxy firewall or proxy server or application gateway. So how it works? There are 3 steps. First one is user contact the application gateway using a TCP/IP application, for example HTTP. So HTTP is the application. Through that application, user will try to contact the gateway. That means he will type something in the web browser and he will try to access the application gateway. In the next step, the application gateway asks, that means the firewall will ask about remote host. That day I think you have remember we set the remote host. Here we set 3 remote hosts, that means 3 users. Okay, so the application gateway asks about the remote host with which the user want to establish a connection. When you check in the first step, they are requesting. Now the gateway will try to establish the connection with that host. Okay, remote host means we are the user. We are user trying to access your application firewall. So now application firewall asks about our address. Once we will send that address, now he will establish the connection. It also asks for the user ID and password that is required to access the service of the application gateway. In the practical, we set your password and user ID. Remember, I think. So now the application gateway will ask about the password and the user ID. So if it is a valid user, then you will establish the connection. So after establishing the connection in the third step, verify the authenticity of the user. In the second step, you already sent the password and the user ID. So now the application gateway will verify the authenticity of the user, and the application gateway access the remote host on behalf of the user and deliver the package. So if it is everything is okay, if it is a valid user, now you can establish or you can send packet from that user to application gateway firewalls. It is clear? Okay, next type of firewall is stateful inspection firewall. It is also known as dynamic packet filter. So it is dynamic, it is written here. That means each and every times a packet is coming to the network, you will inspect. So it is written, it keeps track of the state of active connection. That means what are the active hosts at that time, what are the packets coming from those active hosts or some unknown hosts. So it will inspects all the time. That means that's why it is also known as dynamic packet filters. So it keeps track of the state of active connections and uses the information to decide which packet to allow through it. That is, it adapts itself to current excess of information. Unlike normal packet filters, that means in the first one, which is a hardcode routing rules. That means in normal packet filters, the packet is static, not dynamic. But in dynamic packet filters or stateful inspection firewall, you will check every time the packet is coming from active host or some other device. Okay, that's why it is dynamic packet filters. Next is circuit level gateway. So this firewall is work in the session layer of the OSI model. So it is one of the advanced variation of application gateway firewall. Since it is a session layer firewalls, obviously it will be virtual, because session layer itself is a virtual layer. Okay, so it act as a virtual connection between the remote host and the internal user by creating a new connection between itself and the remote host. It also sends the source IP address in the packet and put its own address at the place of source address. Okay, this is the way this IP address of the internal user are hidden and secure from the outside world. How they are using secure mechanism, this is the important line. What they did, it changes the source IP address means the sender address, and put its own address at the place of source address. That means who is sending, who is hiding their source address and putting his own address and send the packet to the user. So this is the mechanism they are using. So this is all about your firewalls. What are the four types of firewall? If somebody asks, first one is what? Tell me, what is the first type I discussed? What are the types of firewalls we discussed? Array? No, no one responding. What happened? I'm waiting for your response. What are the types of firewall? If no one responding, they will ask one by one. Yeah, Konika, tell me. What are the types of firewall we discussed? Konica raba.
Packet filtering firewall.
Okay, then. Okay, তোমার হয়ে যাব রাজু.
Mm.
Raju. Raju, tell me what are the firewalls? What are the types of firewall? You're not responding, I think. Then with Tupurna.
Sir, মই এইটো chat boxত ক'লো মোৰ নেটৱৰ্ক বেয়া সেইকাৰণে
Okay. Shubham.
So, so first to hold packet filters,
Okay.
so second to hold application gateways,
Good. Very good.
and third hold stateful inspection firewalls, and fourth hold circuit level gateways.
Good. Good. So these are the four types of firewalls. Okay. Overall firewall is nothing but is a barrier between or it's wall between inside and outside network. Okay. So that's all about firewalls. Thank you. Send your attendance in WhatsApp.